Welcome, listeners. Thank you for tuning into Zed's Not Dead podcast. I have a good friend here today, and we're going to meet another good friend that I met mutually. So, I have Mark Rankin. He is the owner of Rankin's Styles. He is, for the listeners that don't know, he's an image consultant, which is a person whose profession is to help men look better, right?
Yes.
So, essentially what Mark gets to do is get paid to make sure that gentlemen are making their best choices when setting up on like a first date, their wedding, photographs, work photos, headshots, any of those. So Mark has set up something really impressive with his business. I just want to throw out the Instagram Rankin Style. Mark, can we get the spelling on that?
Nice. So it's, first of all, you should pitch the business all the time. That's number one.
Yeah, exactly. What was I going to say? I wanted to hear it from you. I wanted to make sure that I...
No, you did a way better job than me.
Yes, true. No, I'm just
Instagram is Rankin Styles.
There we go.
So it's RANKINE Styles STYLES.
Right on. So Mark, welcome. Also, Steven, welcome. Nice to meet you. I just want to... Yeah, for sure. For the listeners, I just want you to go ahead and introduce yourself really quick.
Well, first of all, Mark told me 5 minutes before, both of us came here that I was he's like, oh, you should come. And you cooked me food.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me.
All right.
Appreciate
I've done some pretty amazing things.
Mark is an asshole all the time. No.
Well, that's why I invited him. Actually, if you're not an asshole, Stefan, I need you to leave the premises right now.
I guess we both have to go.
No, I definitely don't have to fucking
go. Yeah, so I'm Stefan. Do I have to introduce myself now?
Yes, please. All you have to do is tell us a little something about you, because I'm very into entrepreneurship for this podcast. You clearly have some skills with the camera and the podcasting stuff. So, what do you do, man? How can we find your stuff?
So I'm actually an entrepreneur as well. Mark and I are business partners. We do. So I would help him out with all the back end stuff for Rankin Styles, website development, everything like that. All the photos on his stuff from October are all mine.
Okay.
All that stuff is mostly me, his new website. And I'm working on my own company, and we just went out on a new venture, Creator, which we talk about in our podcast.
Sure.
Giggle and Grind, if you guys are interested.
Giggle and Grind, ladies and gentlemen.
We call our people the grinders.
Yeah, the grinders for their... but is there no I in grinder?
Oh, there is. There shouldn't be an I in Grindr.
Yeah, I guess.
There should be a hole in Grindr.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, live viewers, should there be a hole in Grindr?
Yes. I'm gonna answer for them. There should be at minimum 2 holes in Grindr.
At minimum.
Minimum.
Yes.
2 holes in Grindr.
What was I gonna say? So. I think the best part about Maxwell Pixel said this perfectly last night. He said that passion has a power to basically make work not feel like work. So if you're into what you're doing, is 100%. What he was trying to say. It doesn't feel like work. So that being said, Mark.
Yes.
Rankin Style is pretty interesting. I love the new website that's up. Like men in the.
Thank you.
Yeah. You did a good job with that. The reason I wanted to point that out is I wanted to ask, do you think it's best for kids trying to start like their own businesses on Instagram or something like that? They should make their own sites, right, and get their own domains. I'm a big advocate for that.
It depends on what you're doing, really.
Okay. What do you think would be a good example of when not to do that?
I mean, if you're just trying to be a social media influencer, you really don't need a website.
True.
Just focus on what's really important and what the objective of your business model is.
Yeah.
Stay like... unnecessary shit that other people are doing, like don't just follow the crowd, like do what works for you.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, I think that applies to everything though. Like don't, like people are gonna tell you to do, mostly if you're an entrepreneur, like people are gonna tell you like go to school, go to college, follow this, follow that. Fuck them. Like do what you want, because like at the end of the day, time is the most valuable resource. Yeah,
this is true. And Pixel and I were talking last night on the few exceptions. I think there are a few things you should probably go to college for. So like being a doctor.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that a lot of people experience that. I think I call it, there's a lot of coercion into going to college, because it's like, oh, your mother and your father and we all worked so hard to be able to send you to college. So it's sort of this guilt trip. I don't know. I'm not really given that, but some people are, I've been told. Yeah. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Mark? Do you think people are like kind of pressured to go one path, but if it's counterintuitive to their own?
So many friends who they're like, ever since they were kids, they're like, you're a doctor. Like they have.
Of course,
no
Mark.
choice.
Of course.
You know.
Wait, but was that a real thing? Like, what did people want you to be when you were growing up, and what did you want to be?
I grew up with old people, bro. They didn't give a fuck. They just they were like. I honestly, like, I grew up, my grandparents, they weren't really my grandparents, they were my grand aunts and her husband. So my grandmother's sister raised me with her husband.
Oh, okay.
So they were like so tired. All they gave us was just like, be kind, and like, they led by example. Bro,
that's good. No, that's a good thing.
No one went, I had one person throughout entire high school go to a parent-teacher meeting. One
really?
Yes.
Only one?
Like, my dad was the same way.
Yeah, like I literally had to go by myself and represent myself.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah, I would go and I was like, what do I need to work on? Tell me what I'm deficient in. And my teachers would tell me because they knew my situation. I didn't have anybody, so like they didn't really care. Plus, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and college is like it's frowned upon to go to college.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? I never knew that.
Because in college, like, the American culture is that you go away to college, and like with Jehovah's Witnesses, like, they're very insular. You only mix and associate with other Jehovah's Witnesses, and like, so when you go away, you'd be like influenced by like other people and the sex and the drugs and the partying and the drinking. So they would to not go.
They're almost afraid that if they know that if you know that's an option, that you'll pick it immediately or something.
Yeah, if you get exposed to it, it's like bad. The analogy that they give all the time is that if you have one clean hand and one dirty hand that's like filled with ink or mud, and you put it together, like,
I see.
It's gonna get dirty.
Well, I don't know, man.
It's horseshit. It's horseshit. Like, it's fine.
No, it's total horseshit. But I don't know. I think there's a massive issue when you don't trust your kids enough to become adults. I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was a really good article I read.
Millennial parents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, exactly. So belonging to. I make the pun too many times, but belonging to Generation Z was really interesting. Is that I was talking about the college thing earlier, that a lot of parents were super, for millennials at least, they were super pushing like, oh, gotta go to college, gonna be the most educated sort of generation in history. But the aftermath of that's been really interesting with all the debt. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like on hurdles for learning what you want to do and be passionate about?
You go.
I think really what it comes down to is like finding a mentor. The number one thing I have attributed like everything that I've been able to build is because of mentorship. Like, I have so many great examples. It's kind of like being in an environment where like you're around pro skaters. Like if you're skating at like a beginner's level, there's no way that you're gonna think you're good.
Right.
But if all your people are beginners, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm the best in my cul-de-sac. You know. But if you're with the fucking, you know, like Tony Hawk's, like you're gonna know that you're garbage, and you're gonna keep pushing yourself to get better and better. And by default, just by association, you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
good
this
to
is
know.
Kind of an interesting relationship because like, Mark is my mentor.
Yeah.
And I am very new to this, so you don't know this, but I'm 19.
Oh, interesting. Welcome to, ladies and gentlemen, Zed's Not Dead podcast has its first Gen Z guest. You have the Gen Z host, me.
Technically I'm millennial, so right?
No, I'm 22 and I'm Gen Z. I'm as old as it gets, 96, yeah.
Oh.
There's
I just looked it up in the car and it said 2004.
Really? There's no way. No, I'm the Gen Z guy, man. I own this shit.
Right, this is the premise of his whole podcast. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, essentially, I am. If I'm an expert in anything, it's Generation Z. It's TikTok, it's Instagram.
Yeah. I don't even know what TikTok is.
Oh my god.
No, I do, but like, I don't know what it is. I've never downloaded it. Anyway, so he's my mentor, and this is kind of a unique situation, I guess, because like. We work together now, which is generally not how mentorship works.
Yeah.
At some extent, do you think? I mean, like the start.
I worked with my mentors.
Yeah. It's like the end of their career, but the start of yours, kind of thing.
Yeah, but this is like
we're like growing. Together, but I can show him what I know.
That's good.
He's great because we bounce off each other a lot, and I get to teach him a lot too about like different things like technology and stuff.
No.
He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit.
Mark actually knows everything. He wrote the Bible.
I did.
He wrote the Bible.
I hope you guys
the Quran
heard that.
also. Yeah.
He wrote all of the religious books: the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, everything.
Quran.
Drop the TikTok username, my friend. I don't have a TikTok.
I think TikTok is for Indians.
So yeah, I think what?
Says the Jamaican.
Oh my God.
No, but it's true. If you go on any Indian person's Insta, it's like all TikTok.
It's also for 13-year-old girls that look a lot older.
Like Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z girls that look a lot older than they are, and they're underage.
Well, I got followed by a girl that I was like, oh, this person does gymnastics. She looks interesting. And it was like birth year 2002. I was like, stay away.
Oh,
It was,
no.
but like, I'm starting to think about this because I don't know. I have an on and off thing with a friend at the moment, but she was born 99, so it's interesting thinking about that timeline. But it is our generation.
Yeah.
What year were you born? 7? Not that I care. You could say 1908, but no.
2000.
2000. Yeah.
Literally just flipped him off like double time.
Yeah, I'm like very young.
That's dope, though. I mean, like.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, I think a lot of people. I just want to finish off that thought because
Yeah,
a lot of people are
Please do.
confused about like how to start, like how to get a mentor, because that's like a big question a lot of people have.
How do you get a mentor?
Thank you for asking.
Of
I was
course.
just thinking about that. So I was with Mark. No, what? Backtrack. I was looking for a job for
Yeah.
like many months at a time, and I ended up getting a job at a marketing firm. I quit the next day.
Yeah.
And I was looking around for internships and like fuck it, anything in like the technology field, like anything. Mark called me while I was delivering Postmates, trying to make some money.
Of course, side hustle.
Yeah, a little side hustle. And he called me and he's like, hey man, like I want you to come in and like intern for me. And I like really like was a nosy motherfucker.
Okay.
So I really got into talking to him and stuff like that and working with him after like the internship hours. And then that's how kind of how he became my mentor. But there's a lot of different outlets. Like you can reach out on Instagram to people because I know Mark really helps people out on Instagram. Like,
Yes, he does.
all the time. Whoever reaches out. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Do you think? Let me think of it this way. I wanted to get your thoughts on meetup groups in particular. I met my friend Roxy that way, and she runs a reselling business for clothing, like stuff like Open Ceremony and Gucci and stuff like that. And it's her full-time job. So what do you guys think about people taking those kind of ventures where they're just sort of exposed to new people through networking groups on like Facebook? Meetup is a website. What are you guys' thoughts? Grindr's a website. Tinder is.
Grindr is the correct entrepreneur website. Everybody go download Grindr if you want to be a millionaire.
I have to say, as someone who has experience with Grindr, there are a lot of entrepreneurs on there. They're selling different goods, but I can tell you that it is very, very good. No, but meetup groups are phenomenal. I've met a lot of interesting people who I currently work with from meetup groups.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark and I met through a meetup group.
Really?
Yeah, remember?
What?
It was Governor's Island, the photo shoot.
Fuck, yes,
That's how I met Maxwell, too.
Oh my god! And
Yeah.
I came up to you.
Yes, exactly.
After the thing, I came up to him and I was like,
Me and my friend
God.
Jay, I remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
my friend put that meetup on.
Yeah,
and-
Mari, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mari.
Shout out Mari, I love you so much. You're like so cute. She really is.
Also Gen Z.
Also Gen Z. Also a
She could use it.
badass gamer and an
Ooh.
engineer in training.
Ooh. Well,
So
I'm neither of those things, but better on her for that.
Oh yeah, no.
As in, I feel dumb now. No.
No, she's a super girl. Like she humble background. Like I think she's like Ukrainian or something like that.
Oh, she's a Georgian, I think.
Georgian, yeah.
I feel weird for knowing all this, but my point is through meetup groups, you can
Yeah.
find out this info with people you want to collaborate with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very, very active on the Meetup app because like I go to those events because that's how you meet people. You know, like it's
Yeah.
literally where you go to meet people. And I always encourage people like when you go, don't leave without a fucking phone number. Even
Right.
one number. Like you cannot
Yes.
go and like not make a connection.
I agree with that. If you're putting the energy out there, people are gonna receive it well. Another good place to do this is movie sets. So I'm gonna be an extra or a background actor on The Deuce again.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude! I keep telling you that I know someone famous now. Now I can be like, oh my god, I know someone famous. Yeah, I'm so excited for you, bro.
What is that?
What is what? What is Mark doing? For the listeners, I have no idea what Mark's doing with his
I'm
front-facing
so sorry.
camera.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, he has
I
to share it now.
follow a guy.
Oh
His
my
name
God,
is
it's so
Burrito.
much.
A
It's so
burrito of ever. Burrito Burrito fever.
Bro, it's so
Burrito
much.
fever
No,
now follows Mark.
It's so
Oh.
much. It's so much. It's
So for the
way too
listeners,
much.
let me describe burrito
Jesus, this dude.
burrito fever.
Yeah.
So burrito fever is holding
Yeah.
a giant
He's nude.
yellow.
Yellow. Wait, what? It's
He's-
a burrito.
No, he's
Where are we going with this?
he's holding a cat toy. So
Is he? What?
yeah, because the
Hold on. I don't know if we're looking at
I
the same
almost
photo.
choked.
That's
No,
a burrito.
no the reason why I said cat toy is because it's wrapped in aluminum foil. For anyone who didn't know, fun fact, you know how cats play with tinfoil? Mark, here's for that.
Okay.
So
Cats, and I've never seen them play with it.
no, they do. If you roll up a ball of tinfoil, they'll play with it. So Chipotle was marketing their wrappers as cat toys.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
and then they got in a controversy because people were like, I thought I was getting a cat toy. I'm not fucking kidding. They had a promotion
Like
where they
Red
got
Bulls
sued.
give you wings?
Yeah,
Like Red Bull
exactly.
gives you wings?
So Chipotle got sued. On that topic, Mark,
Yes.
what do you think is the easiest way to get sued as a business owner?
Saying things that are like blatantly untrue.
Yeah.
like ranking
Mark
styles.
is a style expert.
Yeah. Like. I am a style expert. That is blatantly true. You're guaranteed to have a style expert. However, I cannot guarantee that you'll get your dick sucked.
Oh, that's the problem. What if people are going
That
in
is
to
a
get their
problem.
Yeah,
dick
because you
sucked?
do guarantee. I remember I was shooting something with you,
Yeah.
and you're like, you're definitely gonna get fucked.
No, I mean,
You're
like,
definitely gonna get fucked, is what
bro.
you said.
If you listen.
In a store.
I can get you the leads, but I can't make you close.
Yes.
Right? Come on, bro. Come on.
You should
That's
offer
a
the
good line.
earpiece service.
That's premium.
You just you feed them lines.
No, that's premium.
You need to feed me lines.
That's business level.
I told him that I'm gonna set up a Tinder for him.
Oh,
using
do it.
his same Is that?
I'm back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we survived the apocalypse. Thank you for that quick little break there.
Like a solid 30
Hey.
seconds of no audio.
Exactly. I have to give a couple shout outs. So I didn't have the TikTok username. My friend Maria just joined from Seattle. What's up, Maria?
Hey, Maria.
Hey, and so did New Couch Party, my band.
No
Oh,
way.
what?
Yeah.
You're in a band?
Yeah.
He's in a hardcore band. Like,
Wait,
Everybody.
What do you play?
Meet the-
Say
I
hi
play
to
guitar.
What
Pussy
do you
Dave,
play? I
everyone.
say hello. Oh
Wait,
my
can I call
god.
him Pissy Dave on the podcast?
Oh, yeah. Pissy Dave's actually going to join the podcast as Pissy Dave.
Oh
Pissy
my god.
Dave.
At some point,
Pissy
yes.
Dave is his bandmate.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God.
no, he's actually not my bandmate. He is my friend that let my band play at his place.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
alright.
so he's cool. For the listeners, Pissy Dave's going to be on a future episode. Pissy Dave is the world's most indie tour guide. You can find him at Instant Spam on Instagram.
So many sarcastic names. I love
Oh
it.
yes,
Yeah.
I love
No,
Pissy.
Pissy Dave is amazing.
yeah, he's a phenomenal
Is
dude.
he extra
Yeah.
pissy?
He is extra pissy, especially on a Tuesday.
Oh,
Shout out Pissy Dave if you're listening.
Pissy Dave, I love you.
Tuesdays aren't great days for Pissy Dave.
No,
Maybe I should be laughing so loudly in the mic. Steph tells me that I have the most disgusting laugh.
Oh, when
How
you were
disgusting.
in the car today and he almost spit all over my car today.
What did you say?
No, I can't. Okay.
ooh, what did he say?
So we're in the car and like.
Our senses of humor is like really raunchy. So
Well, you
That's
have
why I
to say-
invited you to the
you have to
podcast,
say-
listeners.
You
I don't
say
know
it.
what
'Cause it's about somebody like DMing me or commenting on my stories. Lewis.
Oh no, we can't share that one. That's no.
Why not?
No.
What happened to Lewis?
we're gonna- no. Oh my god, no!
Encouraging me.
Don't say. Oh my god. No, let's move on. So I
Cut.
think Pissy
Cut.
Dave is a beautiful Asian man. He's Asian, right?
Mhm, yeah,
Yeah, very nice.
parents are
cannot-
from Hong Kong.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh god, he's great. I cannot wait for him to like bring me on a tour or something. I feel like
Yes,
he's
the
like
world's
my
most
friend
indie
in my
guy.
head.
Yeah, exactly. He's the world's most indie tour guide. He used to be a tour guide in the mid 2000s. The reason why we call him Pissy Dave is because he tells us about the 2000s in New York and quote how much cooler they were.
Yeah.
So he's always like, man, all these fucking corporations came in and ruined New York. But at that point in time, he was.
How he does what do you call that when you speak like somebody else?
Oh, impersonation.
The impersonate.
Oh my
they
God.
do
He
it again?
approves of it. I know David approves. And he has an impersonation for me as well.
Oh my, I bet he
What?
does.
Oh yeah. Oh, he'll do it on the show. You can check it out.
Oh,
absolutely.
hey, nice plug. I love
Yeah.
it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So what about you, Max? Like you recently made some pretty radical changes in your life, and it's
I did.
going well.
Oh, I
And
appreciate
I'm
it. Thank you.
just so proud of you because you're
Thank you.
so brave and like so smart and obviously so beautiful. I hope you guys
Mark fucking
check
hates
out
me
his-
for anyone who can't tell.
I need you guys to check out the video when it goes up on YouTube because this guy is literally a model who has not discovered his face.
Exactly.
And I need that to happen. Actually, if I'm being pretty honest, you could be a porn star. Have you thought of it?
Of course.
No, wait.
I know a porn star that looks like you.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen.
I know like at least 3 porn stars that look like you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you know 3 or more porn stars that look like me?
Dude, with the stash, what do you call
Yeah, bro. Like,
what do you call the twisties? Like he has the
Oh, the
twisties.
handlebar
Yeah.
thing.
every
Yeah.
stepmom video ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bro, that could be your category.
Stepmoms.
Barber,
Yeah.
hipster barber, fucks,
Or
hipster barber.
Idaho boy, fresh in New York.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
But that would be a
dude.
gay porno.
That would be gay.
It
porn.
would be. It's
That
all
would be
good.
gay
you-
porn.
Are you
It's all
open?
good. Yeah, going down in history, man.
Bro, listen. I love this guy so much.
Or like old-fashioned porn.
That's
Oh,
a good
like,
question.
yeah,
What
cover up
what
the tattoos though?
Yeah.
what era of porn is the question?
Maybe like early 90s.
No,
You want to
like,
go back?
like 60s,
Yeah, 60s or like the
60s or
20s,
20s,
Yeah.
20s porn.
where people like
Yeah.
they think.
You have to take off 30 layers.
Yeah, exactly. And the what was I gonna say? And also the camera setup's gonna be like to where she has to wait for probably 45 minutes to an hour for the photo to fully.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
render. Yeah.
Wait. Do you guys remember like in the early 2000s? Well, you wouldn't remember this.
What
but
do you
like,
mean?
like, probably not even you. Like when
Maybe.
you have to like wait for the picture to load on your porn.
Oh, I think I had the luxury of not having that
Yeah,
happen
no, I
because
don't
I'm.
know. I don't know.
born
I
young.
started watching
Dude,
porn.
you guys, it was horrible. You had to wait, and it came down like down the screen. It was horrible.
Oh God,
I don't think I ever used like photo porn.
but-
All video.
Bro,
like
the
it's all
video
video.
should never load. Like,
you
Batman
clearly
would
you
never
clearly
load.
had an iPod Touch.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
an iPod Touch. That my stepmom definitely almost saw porn on when I let her open it.
Bro, I got caught in Aries so many times because it would take forever to download. You know that file sharing Aries, like LimeWire? And I
Yeah.
would download it, like Big Dick Black Man.
Oh
Of
And I
course.
would be like, no, it's a comedy. It's like a sketch comedy. No one bought it. Everybody was like, holy shit. This guy's watching gay porn.
So fucking gay
Horrible.
and a
Horrible.
Mormon, just
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what I said.
He's
Oh, it's all
closer
good.
Mormon than me. Like,
Probably.
He's from Idaho.
Well, here's the thing. So Northern Idaho, shout out to North Idaho, is much different than South Idaho. I've never been to South Idaho, but apparently that's like northern Utah. So
Yeah.
North Idaho is like eastern Washington State, basically, and or South Canada, whatever you like,
You're saying a lot of things.
or West Montana.
Yes.
But,
I'll take you to
I understand West
Utah.
Montana now.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly,
That you understand, really?
exactly. They call me West Montana.
That's a good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
I own the domain.
Ooh, dude, no. You hit
West
something
Montana?
right. No, you hit a vein just now.
Yeah.
West Montana.
West Montana.
West
I feel like
Montana.
I should name myself West Montana.
You
Don't
should.
call yourself West Montana.
Yeah. that
Listeners,
sounds like
should
a
Mark
very-
call his
No.
business West Montana?
You
There's
need to
laundering
be so
business.
big to be named West
Yeah,
Montana.
yeah,
You
you
Yeah.
have
can't
to be like
small.
very large and imposing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
can't be
that's not
small to
me.
be West Montana.
He's being humble.
Yeah. Like The Rock can be West Montana.
Oh, if The Rock were West Montana, like the things I would do to him,
There's
or let him
there's
do to me.
his brother's East Montana.
Mid Montana.
Oh.
What about Cow Montana?
What?
What about Cow Montana?
Cal Montana?
Yeah, Cow Montana. Got a lot of cows there.
I don't know. That just sounds like bestiality at this point.
Oh my god.
This
still
program
out?
does not
Yeah, we're
endorse
still
that.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh my god. I have never seen this man in my life.
Exactly.
I literally don't know why he's on my live that no one is on.
We work together.
A lot of people right now, especially a lot of older people, are very anti-technology, very anti, social media and all this other stuff. And I just think it is such horseshit because, like, it's just the evolution of us as human beings. Like,
Right.
things are just changing. Like, it doesn't mean good or bad. It's just different, And it's just like everything that is new, like, people resist it for a very, very long time until they accept it. Like, when the cars first came out, like, people were like, oh, we're not going to stay together as much
Or
because
cell
we're going to be
phones.
moving around.
Right.
Cell phones, like, same thing. I feel like this is just something, and then, like, other people, let's just, not to say fucking old people, but, like, other people
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
are like, like resisting this. And I just feel like that's what it is. And like as we grow as human beings, like we're just gonna adjust for it.
This is true. That reminds me of a quote actually from Ratatouille of all movies. There's that part at the Ratatouille. There's that part at the end of it where Anton Ego's talking about his review for the restaurant, and he really liked it. And there's a really good quote where he says, "New needs friends," and I thought that was really good and poetic the way it had been written out. We were talking Pixar yesterday, so that was like. Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of snapped in my mind.
No, but it's crazy that we just don't like change. Like,
you mean the resistance?
Change. Yeah.
Well, people,
like that's what it is. Like, I mean, I think kids should still be like cognizant that there is a need for like social skills. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, like you can't say like, oh, put your phones down, because that's how we communicate.
Right.
So people just have to. We're gonna adjust for it as we grow. The only thing that's like really scary is that now, instead of like taking 20 or 30, 50 years to adjust to something, things are changing so rapidly.
Yes, this is true.
That's the only thing that's really scary.
I think like because I think people are kind of becoming assholes now.
Oh, more so than before? Or?
Yeah, because now you don't have to look someone in the face to tell them.
Oh, you're talking about the barrier of anonymity, or if you're anonymous,
No, not even anonymity. Let's say like I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure a lot of girls and like on Tinder and stuff like would definitely agree with me on this. Like dudes would be like, "TTF," or like. Yeah. Or just say really horrible things to you. And,
well, I think the biggest problem with it is, like, it's one thing if two people are intentionally wanting to get into that. So, like, guy wants to, like, hook up, girl wants to hook up. That's totally fine. But I think the biggest problem with those meeting apps, hey, what's up? Hey, York guy, how you doing, man? He was on last night. Hey. I think the biggest issue with guys on Tinder, if there's anything I've learned from talking to girls, or screen caps even. People have screen caps of, like, the nice guys or whatever where... the biggest problem is the sense of like entitlement, I guess, for some of the people on it. So there'll be screen captures that show something along the lines of a pretty normal conversation. So this guy has not been aggressive or just anything out of the ordinary. It's like, oh, cool. We're both doing what this app is made for. The issue becomes when I guess she doesn't reply for 30 minutes or something like that. And he sends a message where he's like, oh, you fucking bitch. Like, I give you all this time and nobody turns me down. Or there are, everybody knows this. There's screen caps to prove this. I mean... So I think that, any sort of sense of entitlement and not realizing that both parties should be interested. Like, for example, even something like this, like I'm really glad that you guys wanted to come and hang out and have a good conversation. And I think when everyone's on board, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more enjoyable. Yeah. I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I'll just give the gentleman out there like just a couple of tips.
Yeah, please do, Mark. The image consultant.
Yes.
Yes.
So here's my 2 cents. And like I can speak to, I feel like why I'm in a really good position to like kind of guide guys a little bit is because I have multiple vantage points into social living. So for example, like I'm a guy, so I understand the psyche of men and I spend a lot of time around men.
What it is to be male.
Right. Yeah. So I really do understand that experience. So I can like.
I get that from you too. Like we were saying, you work out, you dress nice, you have a sense of pride in your business and how you live. Yeah.
Damn thing, I do it.
Yeah.
You know, except for right now.
Exactly. No.
What are you trying to say? No.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
I can always count on this guy to keep me grounded.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
like fog in an airport.
Exactly. But for any of the listeners, no, Mark is a very grounded guy, very hardworking. It's part of the reason why I wanted to get him on the podcast, just for what he's built, what you've been able to build, like moving here from Jamaica and all that. I think it's a really inspirational story. So
stop it. Yeah. Fine, I will suck your dick. Jeez.
And ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is about to end. Thank you for that.
No, you're gonna continue talking to me, and Mark's just gonna slide over the table.
Exactly.
Do you a favor.
Whoa, Stefan. Whoa.
No, so I can speak to the
keeping direct eye contact.
Yes, exactly.
The entire time.
Never show weakness.
Never blink.
No, he will blink. He will
Staring competition.
Dropping eye drops and keeping your eyes open.
I'll look like the paused frame of like a video. Like you ever catch someone at the worst moment closing their eyes and it just like.
That's literally what it's gonna be. He literally just did the cum face. You get it? Okay. No, so I can speak to that experience of like being male,
right?
Then I can also speak to like the female perspective because like I don't know if you guys know about like gay relationships, but then you have like a more submissive and then a dominant.
Okay.
In my everyday life, I'm more.
Mark is always a dominant. He's definitely a top.
That's ridiculous. And no.
Mark goes after what he wants.
Yeah. Okay, Marcus, I'd definitely describe you as like you're definitely like a man when you're outside of your relationship. You're like I don't want to say a man, but like you're, you know,
very assertive.
Yeah, you're assertive. You're dominant in most situations. Mark controls the conversation in whatever room he walks into.
You think so?
Yes, always.
I like the transition we made though, because you and I warmed up, and now we're letting kind of Mark be able to talk about the vantage point. What was I going to say? No, I think you definitely go after what you want, like I was saying before, and I think that we both just have that sense of nothing's like promised you, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you and I both are very like willing to almost take a small setback to work on the bigger goal. Is the kind of what I get from you with that. But what are the other reasons guys can learn from you?
So in my relationship, like I'm more of a submissive. Like Steven calls the shots. Like he says,
okay,
you know, like what we do and whatever. And like in the bedroom, like he's definitely
right.
Like, railing me. Like that's how it goes.
Yeah, Mark's accepted it. He has no sense of shame with it.
No, for what? It's sex.
Exactly,
We're supposed to fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my aim in life, is to have men enjoy and women too, like to fucking.
Of course, yeah.
Like, it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful, and like you were saying too, I don't think it shouldn't be exclusive to one, gender, or sex, or whatever. Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
If you like it, put it in your mouth.
Oh.
Anyway.
Alrighty then.
But here's the thing though. So like in my relationship, very submissive. In my household, like Steven calls the shots, whatever. Like he says, all right, we're going here, we're going on vacation there, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah.
And what I know, so I can speak a lot to like the female perspective, for example, because like my relationship, like I'm very, very submissive. Like I don't, like I will not be like yelling and rah, rah, rah. It's more like, like Josie like says what we do, and I'm very happy with that setup because it's like a good relaxer from my everyday life. So
what you're saying is that helps you relate to women more.
It definitely does.
So do like a lot of women like kind of come to you to be able to talk about problems from like a different perspective. I would imagine that's useful.
Yeah. But here's the kicker. I feel like I'm in a better position to advise men or like to give men my reasoning or my thought process on stuff.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I do have an insight into both. So I can say to a guy, like for example, I met Steven on Grindr. Now Grindr is a hookup app, and I was on the app because my friends were like, they were convinced that I would be the old lady who will live and die in the shoot by myself.
Okay.
It's like, you're gonna be lonely. He's my first and only relationship.
Wow.
And we've been together for 3 years. And the reason I went on a date with him was that he wasn't sleazy. I could tell that he just didn't want to fuck.
Yeah.
He didn't want to just fuck.
Yeah.
There was, like obviously he wanted to like bone me, but like not from the jump.
So this goes back to what you said. So why, like...
Because you are looking, I tell Steph to just fucking get to the point with these women because women want to fuck too. But he's like going around the bush. I'm like, bro, you're not looking for a relationship. You're trying to get your dicks up. Yeah. So let's just get to it. Like stop doing this lovey-dovey. Because then what's going to end up happening is that they're not going to give it to you right away. Because if I, as a woman, let's say that I'm a female, and I think that you're marriage or relationship material, I'm not going to fuck you right away. Because if I fuck you right away, you're just going to go.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So time it carefully is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So be very, I always tell guys, why are you on here? Are you looking for a relationship or are you trying to fuck?
Oh, you know the difference.
To figure it out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because there's a difference in how you approach the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and girls, you can't be like on Tinder with your pussy outside and saying looking for a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just going to get dick pics. Let's just be very, very clear. So,
we got Mark, the Tinder expert.
But this guy took my phone. He's like, DTF to a girl? I'm like...
But clearly she wasn't
she
DTF.
She was. But like, you can't just be like, yo, like, hi, my name's Stefan. You want to fuck?
Bro, they had a bunch of back and forth before. I was like...
It was 5...
All right, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to come back next week.
Okay.
Please have us back.
Yes, I will have you back.
I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to set up a Tinder. I'm going to use your pictures.
Oh.
And I'm going to get straight to it.
I see listeners.
How many
He's getting your referral.
Exactly. Listeners. We're going to see the results of Stefan's Tinder after Mark sets up. And he's going to have an image consultant. Mark, this is how you'll set yourself up as an expert. Be like, if you need Tinder... layout services.
Bro, I'm telling you. And Steph is very, very pretty, and he's really tall. The shit that girls like.
Yes, ladies. He's tall. He has long hair, and he's into outdoor sports.
And he's
so that helps a lot.
And I'm yours for only 3 payments of $19.99.
Exactly. Exactly.
And he according to him, this
is the
is
fucking
all
infomercial.
according to him.
For Steven.
I'm gonna be your friend. Just sit back and look pretty.
Hey, if you purchase a Steven in the next 30 minutes, we'll throw in this car key locator on the side.
Just a chip implanted into my temple right
Oh
here.
my god.
It's like accessories coming with you.
Also, according to him, he has a big dick.
Exactly.
It's all conjecture at this point. We
Exactly.
don't know. It's
Oh my
all
god, this
hearsay.
is not advertising for
So-
me. Please.
This
Wait,
is why
what's your-
we say it though. So
Yeah,
we can.
what's your IG again? I'll just look up his IG.
Heck
So,
yeah.
ladies, if you would like to follow this man
I'm sorry.
On IG
that
now.
I'm
on
here.
IG,
You better
let
be.
me just tell you his Instagram right
Mark
now.
is selling me
It is
like a goddamn animal at the farm.
Are you ready?
We're about
guys?
to do some
Ladies?
product photography
So
for
S-
Stefan here.
Yeah, right.
We got the set. We're gonna do some product photography for Stefan.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh no, he has pictures on his thing. Just go
Oh,
ahead and like
shit.
it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's STEFAN
This guy.
underscore
He's actually doing it.
CRUCERU. So Stefan underscore Crucero.
You heard it here,
Look for
Stefan
him.
Crucero.
Please don't look for me.
Yeah.
His
Tall,
windows get like bashed
handsome,
in.
long hair, quote unquote, big dick.
Yes.
Oh, and he also brags that he can make. every
Please
woman
stop!
come.
Oh
Yes,
my
he
god!
says he can make you
There you
come.
go.
You should not
You heard it
worry
here
about
first. I want to thank any listeners for the regular podcast. I'm going to cut it off here. However, I am going to leave it recording for 2 free versions. I'm not upselling a Patreon here. I have 2 free versions of conversation. So I'm going to have the regular sort of version for people to listen to. And then I'm also going to have the past my bedtime version.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Do the scruff.
listeners,
Rough.
do the scruff. Thank you so much for
Does that sound
listening. Yes, it does sound fantastic. Thanks for listening. You guys have a great rest of the night. The boom,
you.
the
Thank you
big.
guys.
Oh yeah.
Wherever I
You're
go.
really good at eye contact. That like dominates conversations. I am not good at eye contact.
I try to keep.
You agree, right? Like
Yeah,
eye
it's
contact is
interesting.
such a powerful thing.
It is. I think you start off pretty strong with it. Is that something you've ever like?
Me?
Yeah.
I try. I actively try to get
Right.
better at it.
Right.
It's very uncomfortable for me sometimes though.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I see what you mean.
because you see, like I try like to keep eye contact with you while I'm talking and stuff.
Yeah.
I also have like this thing where when I listen, I have like a resting bitch face, which you might have noticed because I know you gave me like a look like why is he like it looked like because sometimes it looks like I judge.
Right. Hey,
Did
what's
you
up,
get
Dan?
that
What's up,
vibe?
April? Only a small amount. What was like? It only took a minute though to just kind of get the
Yeah.
vibe, and I'm like, yeah, no, you were good on it. Yeah,
My
no worries.
face just like goes really flat. When
What's
I'm
up,
listening.
Dan?
Like,
What's up, your guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a natural thing that happens. Well, like actually something that I think a lot of people have a really good point on when they say like the resting bitch face or the counter argument to saying that. I think still say it and joke around about it, but people do have a point when they say like sometimes my face just looks like this and people misinterpret it. That
Yeah.
totally happens to women all the time. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
think when you say resting bitch face, like people automatically think female.
Right, yeah, but no, it's
Yeah.
total male resting bitch face for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
because like I know a lot of like I don't want to say a lot, but, like girls check me out on the streets and stuff like that.
Right,
A
yeah.
lot of girls check you out.
Do they?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you're pretty. Like,
Anyway,
why wouldn't they check you
As
out?
Mark said, girls are like checking me out, but
of you guys.
and I know
I think
like,
it'll work.
and I know people like notice me and I see that, but nobody will ever say anything to me though.
Oh, right.
Because I don't walk upset. Like I look upset though. So
You
people are
walk
like
really
very
fast.
scared to approach me. I think. And like, cause Christian gets flirted with all the time.
Bro, I left Christian in a hotel one time because a girl, like me,
Yeah.
Chris, and my best
That's
friend were
fucking
out,
hilarious.
and like as we were leaving, the girl like ran up to our elevator. She works at the spot,
Yeah.
and she
Right.
like put her hand and stopped the elevator, and she goes, "Are any of you guys single?" And me and my friend Michael just like pushed Chris out there. We just like left him at
Out
the
of the
hotel.
elevator, just straight
Yeah.
out, close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were at this like super fancy rooftop place, and the girl was like whining and dining us, and then another girl came out of nowhere. But Chris is very, very pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like he's really, like,
Yeah.
It's,
If he was a little taller,
yeah,
I'd-
he would be. Yeah,
I
Chris
would like
is.
soccer. No, I'm just judging. That's not what I mean.
Yeah, no, he's great,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he knows it too. Like, little fucker.
No girls ever flirted with me.
I don't think that's
Never.
true.
That girl at
Never,
that girl
ever.
from the place we visited to get the place from me flirted with me. The black girl at the desk. She
Oh
was
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to have a conversation with me, talking to me.
Why'd you get her number,
I was, but I was like, well, I'm with Mark and whatever. I'm not gonna like.
bro?
I should have.
Don't let Mark hold you
I
back. He
totally
puts you
should've.
forward,
Don't
yeah.
let me cop block
I totally
or vagina block you. I should not be.
It's cock blocking.
We're after hours. You can go by if you want. We're just messing
It
around.
is cock blocking. You're blocking my cock. You're not blocking her vagina.
Oh,
You could be blocking.
Unless she has a cock too, then I would.
She has a cock too.
I was gonna say, are you assuming genitals?
I don't know. Wait, are we recording?
Yeah.
We are recording, but like I said, I gave the outro, so this is the like past my bedtime segment.
Oh, okay.
Just because like I want to edit, especially with last night, like I want to make it to something like very cohesive. I think I'll do that with this one as well, but yeah, do like a 30-minute, people can hear it. And then for anyone still listening, they're basically just in the like I said, after hours of the late night TV one, past my bedtime.
Ooh.
Yeah.
After dark.
I'm so excited to hear how that sounds.
Oh,
actually, wait. Throw these bad boys on.
Wouldn't be too excited because my voice is shit.
Why would you say that, Mark?
Dude,
You can't sell yourself with a shit voice. Come on.
My voice is definitely not attractive, like, at all. Like, if
You
I
don't
heard
think
my voice on anything,
What do you think?
Sound delicious.
Listeners, what do you think? Does Mark have a wonderful voice?
No, I do not. I sound like
bashful.
a massive bitch. Like, not bitch in like a man-hating.
We're after hours. You're.
Yeah. But like, I literally just not sexy at all. It's bad.
Why is Mark so critical of himself?
I mean, I'm not critical of myself. Do you see my forehead? I'm like covered in pimples.
Were you saying yesterday you had a lot of like cheese or butter or something like that, or what caused this acne, Mr. Mark, sir?
I had a massive jelly-filled donut from Dunkin' Donuts,
Okay.
and I had 3 cookies from Subway, and a slice of pizza right after my workout.
Hell yeah.
And then I went home, and me and Steven ate. What did we eat? We just ate. Oh, tacos.
Tacos are the best. What kind of tacos?
I don't know. Like Steven made it. So
Yeah.
taco, and he got the shell and the lettuce and the cheese and the guac and the sour cream, the whole thing.
Whole shebang.
And then I went to sleep at 12 midnight right after that. So
Sounds like a good time.
Hence my face,
Yeah.
which I don't give a fuck. I can't control it. What am I gonna do?
I don't know how you
myself?
don't pop those pimples.
You're not supposed to.
I want to pop them. I pop everything. Do you do
No,
that?
that's why. The side
Other
of my
people's or
face-
What?
other people's or my own?
Your own.
Just my own,
Other
yeah.
people's are
Like,
gross.
and I know I was gonna say incessantly.
I
like,
wouldn't do it.
Well, yeah, you were like saying like, oh, I want to pop it. I was like,
No,
interesting.
He would do it.
I would. No.
Look
I
at the
wouldn't.
side of Steph's face.
Yeah, I do. But I don't ever scar. I think that's bullshit. I don't have any scars
scar.
from it. But like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll scratch the shit out of my face and like pop everything.
Right,
I cannot
yeah.
stand them.
I wish I could do that. Bro, my skin is so unruly. Like, that's my least favorite thing. Like, my skin. It's just so bad.
So critical. We got Mark.
No, my
Critical on it.
skin is bad.
No.
Like, I think... Oh.
So is your hair.
You're just saying at the moment there's the breakout. Yeah. No, it was even like on Insta story. What were you saying?
Yeah, I said that. And I told people about the donuts and the stuff. And everybody was, like, recommending products and shit.
There you go.
A lot of people recommended, like, black soap. Some people...
The charcoal like exfoliating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I've used that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it does the job. You need to time it. I think to where you do it like once or twice a week rather than all the time. You know.
The peel off one?
Yeah. Not just the peel. I've done those, but I mean like the ones where
Those shits hurt.
Yeah, depending on how tight you have it on. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
My
like you
friend-
like the ones we put cream on. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a cream.
Or
and
no,
it's
I mean like more of the bar.
So, like, this charcoal is one thing that one
Okay.
of my followers recommended.
Right.
It's the Body Shop. Shout out to the Body Shop. And then Skin Clear and Facial Wash. So it's a lot of shit. But, you know, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, man. I just gave up. I'm like, it will go away when it goes away.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I'm not going to kill myself. Listen,
You're just waiting it out, pretty much.
what if I have a photo shoot, he touches one button, and the pimples are gone. It's fine.
It's actually several buttons and layers, but
Oh, is it? I wouldn't know.
I'm just messing
I've
with you.
never touched any of those buttons. No interest.
We got Mark, the non-button pusher.
Nope. Doesn't put any button.
Only my own.
Exactly.
Only my button.
Only Stefan's.
your-
I
Only
almost
button.
punched this man in the face when we were on Coney Island.
Okay, what was I gonna say? I was almost
so mad.
I was almost gonna have us end the story, but right before we end the stream or blah 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 whatever, tell the listeners. Let's wrap up with why did Stefan want to punch Mark?
Oh my god, this guy found my one fucking thing that like I'm a very insecure person. And
Never. Sorry, I was interested with that, but yeah.
Do tell.
Continue. Sorry,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
And Mark, like, so we were doing a shoot, and he takes quite a while to change in between shots.
I did a shoot with him. Yeah.
It takes like 10 minutes. It's not a long time, but
Mark,
it's like,
I did that shoot with you. I know what's up.
It takes a little while.
You got wardrobe.
Anyway.
It's time. You know.
Anyways, I was in my car and I was watching like YouTube videos while in between the time that he was like, I didn't have anything else to do, so I was just doing that in between, like, killing time. And he kept, every single time, we did 6 outfits that day. Every single time we come back, I'd watch a little bit of a YouTube video, and he'd be like, what is this stupid shit? And keep harassing me about what I was watching. Be like, this is so dumb, like, you're stupid, whatever.
I never said you were stupid. I
Whatever.
said
The thing was stupid.
He didn't like that you were watching me.
Yeah. And then
Just killing time.
I kept getting, like, I was like, okay, in the beginning, I was like, whatever, like, yo, like, leave me alone, like, let me, and I put in my ears and whatnot. And he kept going and going, and he didn't realize that he was pissing me off, which I made it explicitly clear to you that I was getting mad.
Yeah.
And then at one point, he just got to the point where I'm like, first of all, I went off on you in the car.
He did go off.
I like yelled at him in the car because he was pissing the fuck off, and then he was like, continued to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Like after I was like yelling at him. And then
that's what I mean by Mark goes for what he wants. He just doesn't give a shit what you think.
And then like I took so much self-control to just like not hit him. Like I was so angry. I had he just wouldn't stop.
Well, 2 things. The bigger question is like, why is it that when you, first of all, I was really, really sorry. No,
I believe it.
And then he called me a pussy because when I get really angry and I don't want to like get into an altercation, I start like tears start coming out of my eyes.
I see what you're saying.
Not in like a crying way where I'm like crying.
It's like involuntary kind of.
It's like I am tearing up because of anger.
Yeah.
Because I have no other way to express it. And he's like, nah, that's just crying. And I was explaining to him because like my voice is cracking and shit. And I was like, bro, like I don't want to talk about this because I'm gonna like start like crying basically.
Yeah.
He's like, I would never let you live that down. And that just made me fucking more angry.
Yeah. I didn't care about that part.
He didn't give a shit about anything.
No. Okay. So he has. Can I say the insecurity?
Yeah.
Okay. So he is a little insecure about people thinking that he's not smart.
We can all relate to that. It's like,
not me. I don't give
Mark
a fuck.
doesn't.
Yeah, except for Mark. Except for God himself.
Yeah. Except for Mark God ranking.
My persona is the dumb one. It's fine.
Oh, so it's hard to screw up, basically.
Yeah, like that's my identity. Like everybody thinks Mark is stupid until he spends some time with me.
Yeah.
You see me on the street, you'd be like, that one is
that
dull.
fucker.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Not the sharpest tool.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, Mark, little Mark. And especially my build. Like, I'm like
that's
really
why
small.
people just smile at him when he says stupid shit to them.
I know, which I do all the time.
He's like, he's got something.
So, like, and I learned from Dak Shepard. Do you listen to his podcast?
No, I don't. I know who Dak Shepard is, though.
Okay.
He's interesting.
So he has the same thing. So he kills himself to, like, research everything so that he will look smart. And then when he had his meltdown, because he literally, like, was an iceberg, like, that in the summertime. So, like, he had a full meltdown, and I felt so horribly because you should never push somebody to that level. You know, so I felt really, really badly, and I really wanted to fix it. Like, this is not okay, for me to like injure my friend.
Yeah.
You know, so I tried.
That's thoughtful, though.
No, of course, I don't want anybody to feel badly.
Yeah. If you were there, you would not have thought it was thoughtful. He was punching me while I was down and expecting me not to kick him in the dick.
But
we have conflicting stories here.
No. But after
you felt bad after.
I didn't know because I take it for granted that everyone has a thick skin like me.
Right.
And
that's another thing we relate on is I think we're both very hard to offend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I'm not hard to offend either. You just hit the one thing that bothers me.
You have a couple things, bud. I know
the shit. You're just throwing him under the bus.
I'm literally gonna throw you out that window.
I know the
It's
I know
open
the
still.
It's fine.
You're tempting him.
But you know what? How about no? But here's the thing. So I felt really, really sorry.
Right. Yeah.
No, talk shit. I don't want you to kick me out the window. Especially in Max's house. You know. That's not
he would do it otherwise, but yeah.
Do it at my house. You know? Well. But I felt really horribly that he, felt annoyed or whatever, and I that's never my. We're like looking at each other's eyes right now, you guys on the podcast.
Yeah, for the listeners, as we're closing out, we have them about to get into an altercation. They're making eye contact.
Yeah. Or it's either an altercation, a hug, or a kiss. I don't know which.
Definitely
one.
not.
Or you could find it on our premium Snapchat.
Oh,
wait, this is for the OnlyFans people. All right. So yeah, and so I felt really really horribly about that. So I apologized profusely, and he took me back.
Oh.
So
it was wasn't mad for long.
Yeah.
Before I dropped him off that day, like it was over.
It was fine.
Like it was fine because I understood where he was coming from and like stuff like that. But he really like I was.
I just didn't take it seriously. Like something like that would make him so like I take it for granted that people are like, nah, that's so stupid. Who gives a fuck if he thinks my show is stupid? Everybody thinks the Kardashian is stupid.
Yeah.
And the Kardashians are amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any lesson from this, it's kindness, caring, Kardashians.
Yes. Yes.
The 3 Ks. Oh no. Not those 3 Ks.